Dcrae. Talking about my roots and growing up, I was raised up in New South Wales on the west side called Mount Druitt, 2770. Growing up for me as a child, how I got into music, growing up as a kid, I was always around music. My old folks, my elders, they were party animals, and they played music going all the way back to the 50s, all the way till in the best of times in their lives, so I was around music, all different genres, you name it, even island music, different culture music. I've always been around that, you know what I mean, and having older brothers and then other older relatives, cousins, they were all into the hip-hop genre, especially in the raw era, the 90s and early 2000s, so around the early 2000s, I would have been about 10 years of age, and I got involved with the music because it was around me a lot, and coming from my father's side, my old man is Fijian, Indian, and my mother was full-blooded Maori from New Zealand. From my father's side, his siblings were all into the choir, so they all played instruments, and they were all amongst music, so it makes sense that I'd come in and I'd be the first kind of singer-rapper, to I guess take after that, so I got into the music from just relatives, and my siblings, brothers, playing the music from early 90s and 2000s, and I believe it's in my blood, and yeah. So I started off as a songwriter when I was 14. I used to write in the back of my book in high school, and I used to write poetry. So that was my first time that I ever kind of got to realizing that I had something here, like a gift, so I used to do that back and forth, a teenager. I was very shy, I was quiet, I kept to myself, so the only time that I could offload was when I was writing the back of my book, and I noticed I could write verse after verse after verse, but in poetry, and it wasn't till 2018 is to when I recovered one of those poetries from my old school books that I found in the vaults. And one of those verses I remember I was writing down was a cover song to Tupac's Dear Mama, and it was a song that I was writing about my mama, when I was probably going on about 1 to 2 years of age, she saved my life, to where I could have lost my life if she didn't make the right choices at the right moment, at the right time. And she really saved my life. So I wanted to write a song, because 2007 she passed away. And at the time I was 16 years of age. So 2018, the song just happened to show up. By 2019, I dropped the song. So, I could say I've been making music since I was 14, but dropped my first in 2019. So 4 years I've been going as a musician. Went through my trials and tribulations, and people don't get the music industry and what it's really like. At the start it was just a hobby, and at the same time, myself being a father as well, and going through my trials and tribulations, trying to put food on the table, stuff like that. So when I could and when I can was a time when I was in my zone, and my life revolves around making sure my family is safe before I go and do my own thing, and I always stay busy. I've got a strict diet and a strict regime, where I'm up early in the morning, I'm hitting my goals early morning before my kids get up. So right now, as I sit, I'm able to say after 4 years that it's full time for me, And you know, after 4 years of enduring, you know, deciding my life and my goals and priorities, I can honestly say right now it's full time for me, hands down, and I love what I do. I love making music.
They always live a lie, and always waste my time. Yeah, they better realize I don't show. Yeah, don't show. Too many haters in this world, I'd rather be alone.
So I came up with the name Dcrae. I think it was back in 2018, late 2018. Before in the midst, of making and finishing off the cover song for Mama, I used to be a YouTuber, and I used to do vlogs and blogs, and I used to review and debunk, say, music, videos, movies, and history. You know, like real history. And my YouTube channel used to be called Crae TV. Crae TV. And you know, in the midst of doing that, I was becoming a musician as well. You know, so when the time came to drop Mama, it was late 2018, and I needed a name. You know, and I was going to continue on with Crae TV, but you know, I went through it, and I had a few names actually. You know, it could have been Crae J, and but the whole persona for Crae is Crae, as we know, is the short term for crazy. You know, and I just kind of like that because it matched my persona. It matches me throughout my whole life. You know, the craziness of who I was. You know, and who I can be, and kind of went through the alphabetical order, and well be known Dcrae, you know. So that's what the name came up with, is, you know, one step at a time of experiencing things and going for things and starting something and then starting something anew, you know. So it all happens for a reason. The persona behind it is, I guess it's how you would say, is the person I've always wanted to be, you know. I guess the person I was meant to be, you know. And in my teenage life, my adolescence life, I never really had a teenage life, you know. It kind of drifted as there was, you know, my mama was sick, you know, she had cancer, and so much turmoil, and a lot of, you know, issues were going on in my adolescence life. So I guess now, as I sit, what I was supposed to be back then is happening to me now. So on God's time. My inspiration comes from the folks before me. You know, like I said, my elders, you know, they love to party, you know, and I'm guessing everyone, you know, in the 90s, 70s, everyone from that era loved to party. You know, it was a party era, you know. And like I said, being a young child, I used to watch them. I used to listen to the music they were playing, whether it be reggae, classic, dance, you know, romance, sentimental, you know, we're talking like all genres, you know. They were into everything, you know. They used to listen to music going all the way back from the 50s all the way to now. So I have a bit of embedded knowledge of music from back then till now. And you know, it'd be for everything that happened within my life, you know, and everything that I kind of went through from my childhood all the way to where I am now. I kind of hold that within me, you know, in my two hands, and I use that. That's where my inspiration comes from, you know. And the whole point of me doing and being a musician as well is to show others as well that you can be all you can be, you know. You just got to believe, you know, and that's the message that I want to send. So yeah, Shake came about in mid-2018. I was collaborating with a producer over in Dubai, and together we were working on a beat, you know, and I wanted an upbringing beat that's gonna hit the clubs, man, for sure, you know. But I wanted something different, you know. I wanted that kind of Dubai mix, like midnight Aladdin kind of beat, you know, and we were at it for months making the beat. So I just finished a song with Shazi, 4 Seasons, and that was getting mixed and by our engineer DJ Liams. So my next target was, you know what, I've always wanted to do a song like in PNG, you know, always, man. And for some reason, you know, I used to listen to Tarvin's music a lot, you know, and his music, like, he changed the game, you know, he brought something totally different, and that admired me, you know what I mean, because people don't like different sometimes, you know, and it's hard when you're trying to bring something new. You got a new artist, and he's got a different kind of flavor, you don't know how people are going to take it, you know, but he kept going, you know, and that was inspirational for me, and I just had to get him on, you know, because I kind of felt like it was the right timing, you know, and I think at the time he was going through some issues, and it just, on God's time, man, it just happened, you know, and we exchanged on WhatsApp, and we went for it, you know, we started talking, and before you know it, he listened to it, he loved the beat, he loved my chorus. Already, every time I hit up an artist, I always have a beat and a song laid out already, and I always encourage other artists to do the same thing, because it's like, if you want someone to be on, hey, be ready, you know. And Tarvin liked it, he really loved it, you know, and he could see, you know, I don't know if he could see what I could see, but I just knew that he'd be right for it, you know, and him having Tuhiana by his side, Blaze One Records, you know, that's amazing, you know, and Tuhiana in himself he's the next thing, he's the next big thing, he is an amazing singer, it comes from the soul, you can feel it, you know, what we call the mana, and yeah, that's how it came about. Yes, I do have plans to collaborate with other artists in PNG, definitely, if they're open to it. You know, I'll be honest with you, I have hit up other PNG artists as well, not just Tarvin. But whether they're to get back to me or not, it's up to them, you know what I mean? Like, I'm all for the music, and I just want to put that out there, that I'm all for the music. You know, I'm not here to take, you know. I mean, I love music, it's in my blood, it's within my soul, and if I have an idea and I know who to chuck on, believe me, the song's gonna be great. So I do have, and I do have other artists in PNG that I am collaborating with, so yeah, keep a lookout. Yeah, before I go, just like to give a big shout out to everyone who followed Shake and who's loving and supporting the song. All the clubs there, Illusion, Club 99 that I hear that is playing Shake, Blaze One Records, Tarvin, Tuhiana, Tony for mixing and being the engineer behind the scenes, and my engineer Damien as well. All the boys there, Blaze One Records. To the post-career PNG newspaper for adding our article in the entertainment section. Also to a big help and big support to Rosie Marie, who's been helping us out, helping all of us out, especially upcoming artists. They would know that she's been the behind-the-scenes support, and she's pushed our music and our articles and our info and details. She's pushed it out there for us all, so I want to give a big thanks to Rosie Marie for that. You know, we all, she's also got sites up on Facebook for WhatsApp, and it's over 150 plus musicians and artists who just want to talk about music, you know, so it's an amazing thing to be able to connect, you know, and especially over there in PNG. So big thanks for the support. Also, thank you so much for hitting me up, NBC TV. Thanks again for this interview. I just want to give big thanks to you all and everyone out there. you know what I mean, in PNG and all over the world that listen to the music. I hope Shake, I really do hope that Shake uplifts and brings a bit of light and fun and joy and excitement to everyone's life. So thank you again, your boy Dcrae.